They lied to you about the clouds. They told you it was gas. They told you it was a balloon floating in the dark, a gentle giant, a protector. It is not a planet. It is a pressurized tomb. And you are wrong about everything inside it. You were taught that Jupiter is a gas giant. That implies lightness. That implies that if you fell into it, you would simply float, drift through the mist, maybe come out the other side. That is a fatal error. Jupiter is not gas. Jupiter is liquid, and it is not water. It is a screaming ocean of liquid metal, waiting to dissolve you. Beneath the pretty bands of orange and white, there is a secret we only found when we sent machines to die there. Let's look at the horror. Let's look at the truth. The first time we saw it close up was 1974, Pioneer 11, a tiny metal box hurling itself at a god. Then Voyager in 1979. We saw the movement. We saw the storms. We thought they were beautiful. We were naive. We didn't understand the scale. The human mind cannot process this size. It rejects it. It creates a safety buffer. Listen to me carefully. This thing is heavier than every other object in the solar system combined. You could fit 1,000 Earths inside its throat. If Earth was a grape, Jupiter is a basketball made of lead. The old stories say it formed from a disk. Dust and rock smashing together. Gravity eating gravity. A slow accumulation of debris. That is the comfortable theory. It implies order. It implies a core of rock and metal. A seed. But there is another theory, a darker one, that Jupiter was born as a failed star, a cloud of gas that collapsed on itself. Collapsed, and never stopped collapsing. A layer cake of suffocation without a solid center. We spent decades guessing. We stared at the stripes and pretended we knew what was underneath. But the universe loves violence. And in 1995, the universe decided to show us what happens when you strike a god. It was a comet. Shoemaker-Levy 9. Ice and rock moving at 216,000 kilometers per hour. It was not a visitor. It was a bullet. Jupiter's gravity did not just pull it in. It tore it apart. It ripped the comet into 24 pieces before it even made contact. We watched from Earth. We felt safe behind our telescopes. We were not safe. The impact was not a splash. It was an annihilation. The largest fragment hit with the force of 300 million atomic bombs. 300 million. The explosion was bigger than our entire planet. It left scars, great black bruises in the clouds, wounds the size of continents, debris kicked up thousands of kilometers high, hanging there like dried blood. And just as the dust was settling, we arrived, the Galileo probe. It arrived in time to watch the violence. It flew through the debris of the comet. It tasted the insides of the planet that had been vomited out. It found water. But it found something else. It found the pressure. We needed to go deeper. We sent Juno in 2016, a suicide mission to scan the heart of the beast. And this is where your science textbooks become useless. This is where the reality begins to fracture. Jupiter is not made of gas. The clouds are a skin, a thin, deceptive skin. Peel it back. Top layer, 100 degrees below zero. Ammonia ice. It acts as antifreeze. Water exists here, but it is corrupted. It creates lightning, not like Earth lightning. Bolts that could vaporize a city. Slushy hailstones falling into the dark. Melting, evaporating, rising. A cycle of eternal storms. The red spot. You think it is a storm. It is a wound. It is 10 times deeper than the deepest ocean on Earth. It reaches up above the atmosphere. It absorbs the sun's radiation. It cooks itself. That is why it is red. It is sunburned gas screaming into the void. But that is just the surface. We must go down. Do not hold your breath. Breathing is not an option here. 50 kilometers down, the clouds end. The heat rises. The pressure builds. On Earth, pressure is just air pushing on you. Here, the pressure is the weight of 1,000 worlds pressing on every inch of your skin. The gas gets thicker. It is like a fog, then a mist, then a soup, then sludge. There is no surface. There is no splashdown. You simply stop falling and start being crushed. 1,000 kilometers down, the hydrogen is no longer gas. It has been squeezed so hard, it has forgotten how to be a gas. It is liquid, a global ocean of liquid hydrogen, 20,000 kilometers deep. Imagine an ocean with no bottom. Imagine drowning in something that never ends. But it gets worse. It always gets worse. Keep descending. The temperature is now thousands of degrees. The pressure is in the millions of atmospheres. The hydrogen atoms are screaming. They are being pressed so close together that their electrons are ripped off. They are stripped naked. This is the forbidden state. Metallic hydrogen. It is not solid. It flows. But it conducts electricity like copper. It is a liquid metal sea, 40,000 kilometers deep. It generates a magnetic field so strong it hums. It is a dynamo of hell. You are swimming in liquid metal that is hotter than the surface of the sun. There is no light here, only heat, only weight, and the silence. The silence of being buried alive under the mass of a failed star. And the core, the thing in the middle, we thought it was a rock. We thought it was a diamond. We were wrong. The data from Juno returned a corrupted signal. The core is fuzzy. That is the scientific term. Fuzzy, it means dissolved. There is no solid ground. The core is a soup of rock and iron mixed with the metallic ocean. Why? Because something hit it, long ago, when the solar system was young and violent. A planet, a protoplanet, 10 times the size of Earth, a super-Earth. It struck Jupiter head-on. It didn't bounce, it didn't break, it was consumed. It smashed into the center, and the heat melted it instantly. It shattered the core. It spread the bones of that dead planet throughout Jupiter's interior. Jupiter is a graveyard. The core is not a seed. It is the digested remains of a world that could have been life. It is a stomach. We tried to simulate it. We ran the code. The computers say the core should have solidified by now. The computers say the heavy rock should have sunk. It didn't. It stayed fuzzy. It stayed dissolved. It defies the models. It refuses to organize. It prefers the chaos. So, Jupiter is not a gas giant. It is a sphere of liquid metal armor wrapping around the corpse of a murdered planet. It creates storms that last for centuries. It creates radiation belts that fry electronics before they even get close. It acts as a shield for Earth. It catches the comets. It eats the asteroids. They say it protects us. They say it is our big brother. Or maybe it is just hoarding the mass. Maybe it is just growing, waiting for the day it has enough gravity to pull us in two, to dissolve us, to add our iron and our rock to its fuzzy core. It is beautiful to look at, but do not stare too long. The eye of the storm is staring back, and it is hungry.
This is the final warning.
Do you want to survive? Subscribe.